So might as well tell you a little bit about pre-tripping these things. So basically, make sure nothing's gonna fall off. Your nuts don't have to be super tight, super loose kind of deal, just so they don't move too much. It's totally okay if they are super tight. You're just gonna have to loosen them. Okay? No issues. Nope. Got my tail lights on and a blinker. So he tells me there's a fault, but it still works, so I'm cool with that. Alright, so on these kenworths, I already walked around it once. Alright, so on these kenworths, basically, there's very few things to do. Kind of. I'm in Ohio. Alright, so you see these? Come down. That's tight. Okay. I'm getting fat. I'm just saying. Alright. So you have 3 pins in these. One right there, one right there, one right there. And you see that one's got the pin on the other side. You got them over here too. You gotta do them on both sides, make sure all those pins are in, and then this Z-bar is done. Just like everything, a little bit of tighten, make sure the pin's in, and you're good to go. Good morning. Actually, it's 11:31 time. Okay, so I'm about to take apart these Z-Wings. I got a 3-way, no big deal. Of course, first thing you do is rip and strip axles, then your electrical, and then these headache cracks, fenders, get all that stuff off. Then you do your axles, and then you worry about that. If you don't know how to do any of that stuff, you should probably learn that before you try to undo a slipper. I'm just saying. So, but I'm gonna get all that crap done first. All right. So, axles are in. Airlines aren't done because this isn't a Freightliner, so therefore you gotta do them a little different. All right. So the very first thing you do for kenworths and peterbilts is you gotta get this pin out. Okay. So usually loosen that up a little bit. And that sucks because that's tight as hell. So I'm gonna have to beat on it. But I'll do that once I get these 2 pins out. Okay, so it was a pain in the ass. So I ended up actually taking this pin out, all the way out, and then I put it back in after I got everything loosened up. You pull this pin right here. Okay. Now you just throw it on top of the box. And then you flop it back just like that one. To do that, you loosen these nuts. Just loosen them, a lot of way loosen them, and then it's back. Just flop that back in there. Don't worry about these 2. We'll get those after we get the truck. Okay, now we got those pins out. We gotta unhook our airlines, and then we jack it up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this T out and this part, and I'm gonna connect this to here. That way this truck is isolated. I can push in the red button and move it. Same thing with the blue. All right, so I gotta jack that down until I can put these blocks under the tire. So that's a 6-inch block with another 6-inch block, like so, but it's got to be scooted right about here. So I got to jack it up. Y'all don't want to take the time to watch me jack it up, so I'll time lapse that shit. Sometimes things don't work out. So this jack is completely obliterated. Called DSG and let them know that this jack is gone. The place I'm at, they're calling the wrecker, and because they don't have a hoist for me to use. So yeah, now I'm waiting on a wrecker. I could go ahead and undeck number 2 first, but they said the wrecker's down the street and they'll be here in a minute, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, that was some work. Wrecker showed up, so I had to do everything really quick. So I didn't film nothing of it. So anyhow, this jack works. Got the truck unhooked. It's jacked up. I had it jacked up to where my boards would fit under. Again, the 6-inch one and the 6-inch one. So they're like 12 inches up. Okay, now, you see that fork hole? That's how you set those blocks. And then now I'm going to jack it down, because it does work going down. I check both ways before I let the wrecker leave, because that would be stupid. So, yeah. Hi, from underneath the truck. So, I forgot to tell you, but you see those bolts? I took the nuts out of them, off of them earlier while I was waiting on the wrecker. So, yeah. And then I took the nuts off, and then the wrecker showed up, so I wasn't able to actually get the bolts out. And then I unhooked and I forgot about it. So no big deal. They're loose, so they're not gonna bend. It didn't bend the axle by me lowering the jack down. So I gotta tell you, these 3 pins on each side, this strap, this doohickey that this pin is in, and this thing off on each side. Be back in a second. Forgot a couple of things. See that doohickey? Right here. There it goes. People always forget that thing. So, and these straps here, they will come loose. These are expensive. Don't cut them, no matter what. All right, next thing is, gotta undo these airlines. It's hard to do one-handed. Feed them back to the back. All right, and then I'll go meet you at the air dryer. All right, so you see this fitting here? This comes off, and this goes back in its place. That's on the air dryer. All right, next, you see this red line? Let's go in your supply, take it out and put this yellow one in there. And then the blue line comes out and you put the orange one in there. And then you're done with airlines on this. Almost. You gotta actually pull them loose. So, now you're done with airlines on this truck. Okay, now we gotta jack it up. And we're gonna jack it up until the tail here hits the ground and it comes off those blocks, so we can take these blocks out completely, and then we'll put the blocks back here. I just realized I just worked my ever-loving ass off getting that down and pulling those blocks on time lapse, and yeah, it didn't go. I'm kind of annoyed by that, because I really worked hard, because while this jack was easier than the other one, it still sucked. I think it did. So I figured I'd add in, when you do your ramp, you add those 2 little blocks at the back right there on both sides. And that way when you come down, you don't have to worry about your bumper hitting or anything. Because when you drop off, sometimes you're just a little bit too close, especially on the really super short trucks. So I add those 2 blocks just to make sure that I go ahead and come off of it. Now I don't have to worry about anything. everything's gravy. I gotta do one more thing, but I'm just gonna keep you on the hook while I'm doing it. So, if you don't, see how low this is right here? My fist is about 4 inches. If you just put a 6-inch block or a 12-inch block, then instead of doing a ramp, when you come down off of that, I haven't done it, but I've been told that you will crush the ever-loving hell out of this $5,000 bumper. I don't want to pay for that. So, not that I would. I mean, I'm not paying for your bumper. So, I don't want to chance it. But there sure are a lot of guys who rip off bumpers. So, next thing is, I didn't get a zip tie, but this block comes out. Oh wait, there's a pile over there. And then I've got to cut this zip tie, pull this pin. This is Active's pin. This is also Active's pin. So they both go in the box. And after you're done, clean up your entire area. If there's no blocks on site, leave these here just in case. But clean up your entire area, put all your stuff in there, throw your trash away because nobody wants that crap. These, all the stuff that was underneath there, everything that's pretty much metal and reusable. And that's a wrap. Thanks.